35 goals a year ago. And the teams that qualified for Europe, at least 58 goals. And then you kind of have to throw out Barcelona and Real Madrid with 98 and 102 respectively.
Yeah, they're in a different league, aren't they? Literally, really. Yeah, I mean, I think when you go into a new season, you talked about it at the start, there's a fresh optimism. You know, pre-season has gone okay, particularly well actually for Zaragoza. Yeah. But you know, you expect to start well, and you want to get the confidence up. You want to get the fans believing in the team again.
Zaragoza just one defeat in 9 pre-season matches. Deportivo, more of a mensa kind of pre-season for them. Deportivo in the blue and white, Zaragoza in the green and black, as we're completing the first minute at the Riazor.
First of the challenge here. Left-hand side for Zaragoza. Always important in the first kind of few minutes, Joe, just to try and have a little bit of possession yourself. Normally when you're away from home, there's always an onus on the home side to start quickly, to put you on the back foot if you like, but Zaragoza, if they can get a few passes together, I'm sure they'll feel better about themselves.
Out of the middle of the park, and now opportunity here is for Zaragoza, but cut off on the left of defense. As Claudio Morel stepping in. Long ball over the top. No way to pick out Marco Perez.
I think tactically, Joe, in this game, both coaches, see Jose Aurelio Pay here, the coach of Real Zaragoza, set up pretty much the same really. It's a I call it a 4-4-1-1 or a 4-2-3-1, and there is the kind of player in the hole for Zaragoza, and it's Michel, this new loan signing from Valencia, Deportivo. They're the creative players. They're supposed to link the midfield with the wider players and the central striker.
Challenge coming in as Ureta goes down, as Gabi Fernandez steps in. So first free kick of the day. And the man who was fouled is poised to deliver the ball, Ureta. And drives it in, bending ball, headed away. And nodded along, and now a chance on the break for Zaragoza. Bartolo on the left-hand side. Can he get a cross in? Challenge comes in. Corner conceded. Oh, a lot of work for Nicolas Bartolo. Not really anything to show for it in the end.
That's a good breakaway, wasn't it? Came from the set piece. Bartolo very quick down the left-hand side. Here's Guardado all the way across to make a challenge. Comes a little Mexican. It's an excellent sliding tackle.
Corner driven all the way to the top of the box, far side, and having to give chase was Ponzio. But in the end, throw in for Deportivo. Some patience here. Now into the shadows, the Riazor. And now Manuel Pablo. 279th match in La Liga. All have been for Deportivo. Challenging right there. 34-year-old can't come away with the ball. Scrappy battle here now. Ureta. Serve it across the top of the box, and first time rocketed over the bar. There's Antonio Tomas.
That's worth an effort, isn't it? It was on the edge of the box there. Forced him nicely on the volley. Can't really control the strike, but Antonio Tomas is always an important player for Depor, I feel. Centre of midfield. I think it's a fairly reliable midfield general, if you like, in there.
All the way across the pitch. And Coloto plays it wide. An opportunity here perhaps for Depor. And Michel, nothing he can do there. And on loan from Valencia.
He's a youngster, isn't he? Michel got his chance to play very regularly. You have to think of Deportivo La Coruña. Not a lot of contact there, is there?
Now for Depor in the off-season, as we mentioned, everything was either free transfers or players on loan, like Dami coming back from a loan to Jerez. But they did sell Felipe Luis for over 17 million to Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, and I think he's a very, very good player. Claudio Morales is a player. He's coming in from Boca Juniors on a free transfer, I suppose, in replacement straight into the team. But I think he's going to be missed at Felipe Luis. That bad injury, didn't he? But he seems to be okay now. And as you mentioned there, ins are just free transfers, loan deals.
Same thing for Zaragoza.
Yep.
They had a sale as well out of Mende to Getafe, but not nearly as much, just 2.5 million. As the challenge comes in, another free kick for Depor. There's Antonio Tomas taking a tumble. You see Antonio Tomas, good cutback, and first there was the touch by Jarosik, and then Ponzio finished him off. There's Leo Franco. Sets up a two-man wall. And the free kick into the box, but not able to pick out a man in a blue and white shirt. And now this one whipped across. Leo Franco spills it and then scoops it up. Now a bit of drama early on here.
Yeah, it's a fairly cautious start, though, isn't it, from the home team? Very patient. I think it's typical Spanish football, lots of passing, interchanging.
Well, we can point out that it was victories for the visitors in all three matches yesterday. And now Zaragoza trying to see if they can add a goal to perhaps continue that string. Oof. Manu. Finally, an opportunity to grab the ball. Dangerous bit there.
A little bit of panic. It's the earlier effort here, Leo Franco. Well, luckily for him, there's nobody coming in there for Depor. Takes it second time of asking.
Now wide. And this is Bartolo. And Manuel Pablo there.
Nice little move from him, little leg over. Try to take it around the outside of Manuel Pablo. Good defending.
Good through ball here. And the opportunity. Save is made. Manu, the diving stop. And now a goal kick for Manu and Deportivo.
Well, we'll get a first real look here. And there, the player I talked about. It's a simple ball through, isn't it? Marco Perez, it is, with a shot. The first real decent effort of the game.
Now at the other end, it is Reta. Plays it across. Reta again into the box. Oh, and the challenge comes in and play on. At that end of the pitch, Robbie, where Deportivo is attacking, and the way that shadow comes across from the end of the stand, how much does that affect you as a player to come in and out of that?
It does affect you. Yeah, it really does. Particularly for the defending players, they're looking into the sun one moment, they're into the shade the next. It's horrible. As a player, I always wanted to play in an area that's in the sun, because obviously the sun moves and that shadow moves around. But it's a good point, and it will be a problem.
I think it's like officiating. You just want it to be consistent.
Exactly, yeah. You want it to be one or the other. It's okay for this goalkeeper, Leo Franco. He's okay, pretty much. The sun's going in the other direction. It's more in the eyes of Manu from that angle. And where it comes into its own is in the toss-up at the very beginning of the game. The captains will look at the sun. The goalkeepers may advise them beforehand and say which end they prefer to go in. I think we see here from the challenge, Ponzio it is. I think he wins the ball, doesn't he? Yeah, it's a good challenge. And certainly on a penalty kick, but it's a fair tackle.
Manu again seems to be scrambling a bit. Ball play. Oh, good defensive play. There's Contini. Held his ground and a great challenge. Approaching the quarter-hour mark, and now Marco Perez again, the Colombian on the right side, squares across. This is Gabi. Oh, slipped through, free kick for Zaragoza. Is Nicolas Bertolo. And the challenge from Juan Rodriguez. Man who had 9 yellow cards a season ago. Not so bad if you think about it over the course of the season for his role. There's Jorge Lopez. Sends this one in, far post, headed away. Gabi tracks it down. He'll send it right back in. Across the box. Helped away by Ureta. Now this is a foot race to the ball. Won by Ureta. Slips into space. Oh, lovely ball here. But the service lacking. Oh, fantastic ball by Ureta. Same cannot be said for the subsequent one from Manuel Pablo.
Yeah, it's a shame, actually. Lovely bit of combination between the two wide players on this near side. Pablo, the fullback, making that run. Ureta with good speed initially, then a lovely little through ball, wasn't it, in behind the defenders of Zaragoza.
Ureta again. Good movement by Deportivo, now finding Claudio Morel. Okay, on that side, Diogo wins it back for Zaragoza. And challenge top of the box. And it is let go by Teixeira Vitienes. Which I don't really have a problem with on that call.
No, I think it's good, isn't it? I think it's good to. I like it when you say that. He's let it go, because in Spain, there's so many times I think the referees just blow for little incidents that aren't really enough, in my opinion. But I like some of the referees in Spain just let it go, which is great. I prefer to see that.
Handball. Juan Rodriguez getting the arm out. And once again, Jorge Lopez. His players forward. Bertolo, Jarosik, Marco Perez. And curling ball, Manu trying to get to it, punching it while missing on the punch down, but then able to gather it in. Because I don't think Jarosik thought it was going to actually get by Manu, and when it did, he wasn't ready.
I think you're right. Maybe the sun in the eyes of Manu, maybe. It's a half chance.
And Lopo and Manuel Pablo back and forth and driven upfield. Taken back by Zaragoza. Bertolo goes down.
Just another look at this situation here. The goalkeeper Manu is just misjudges it. Maybe it just strikes the arm of Jarosik, but all the same, he got to the ball before it went over the line.
Diogo on the right flank. Along the back for Zaragoza. Now Bradovic. Oh. Seemed like a simple pass, but well off the mark.
Sometimes you see in the opening weekends of any season really is a lot of the games are very cautious, and I think you always want to get off to a good start. You don't want to lose the first game, and maybe just a little sign of that in this game. A lot of it is being contested in the middle third.
Bradovic comes away with it. That might explain, or Jarosik, beg your pardon, from the Czech Republic. That might explain 5 draws in the last 8 meetings. Neither team wants to lose, so they don't play to win either.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that, I think. I mean, we've had a couple of chances here already, but I just think the first day, it's always hot, sunny. You want to play well for yourself, and sometimes they're very cautious affairs. An interesting battle on this near side. Bertolo, left side of midfield there for Zaragoza, and Ureta here. Combine or come together quite a few times now. Both, were hard-working wide midfield players.
Now, Juan Rodriguez. Touch on out wide. This is Benoit Pablo. Tricky little move as Nureta trying to get around his man.
Is it the same two players again? Bertolo, Nureta again.
Get used to one another, right?
Yeah, they're both new into their teams. Clever little turn there, isn't it? Nureta's on loan from Benfica. She played last season in Uruguay. Scored a few goals over there.
Played for Penarol.
Good shape and display here, Joe, from both teams as well. When the ball's been steadily passed across the midfield, you can see very much the shape of the two teams with the four midfield players kind of in a line. You get a great view there as well as you just look across the pitch there, the blue and white stripes. Very good shape. You see Adrian just playing in front of them as a little bit of extra protection. Well organised team so far.
Long ball by Jarosik doesn't amount to much. Well, coming up, Racing and Barcelona. We'll have it live after this match between Deportivo and Zaragoza. Mallorca and Real Madrid will finish things off on this day. And one more game, that will be tomorrow, Atletico Madrid and Sporting Gijón.
Yeah, Atletico Madrid fresh off the victory in the UEFA Super League final, beating Inter Milan. I saw that game, Joe, and they were very impressive. Atletico Madrid, same old team pretty much. Brought in Diego Godin from Villarreal. I think it's just strengthened the backline a little bit, but Aguero was Aguero. Forlan was quiet. Inter looked a little bit off the pace, maybe a little bit rusty.
Or maybe realizing it was nothing more really than a glamorous exhibition.
Well, I'll tell you, both teams were at it, and it was a very good crowd in Monaco. Both want to win it when you get to that situation. Benitez didn't look too happy with what was going on with his team, so maybe question marks for Inter going into the new season.
A different voice between Mourinho and Rafa. We'll see how the Real Madrid respond to Jose Mourinho.
I think they're going to respond very well. I think they're going to go, well, I think we all know it's going to be very close anyway, but it might just come down to the two Clásicos,
Same as it ever was.
Yeah, right? I suppose so. And Real Madrid have disappointed the last couple of years on those games.
Cut across behind Marco Perez, though, and Manuel Pablo comes away with it. Chance on the break for Deportivo. Nice little spin in the middle of the park by Michel. Guardado comes across. Here's an effort. Diving stop by Leo Franco. Second chance goes across far post. Guardado can't get to it.
Well, that's what I like to see from Deport. Andres Guardado on the left-hand side, a very tricky player, coming inside and taking a pop with his right foot. Ureta's been bright on the right-hand side as well, so we talk about their lack of goals, but when you see them, you've got some good attacking players in the side. Maybe it's just through the middle. Adrian scored enough goals, only 4 last season from 34 starts, is not really good enough. Maybe Michel can bring a little extra quality too. There he is again, he's coming inside here. Reasonable save, palms it quite safely away, Ureta just tries to feed it back in there.
And that shadow keeps creeping further and further out into the midfield. 25 minutes in, it was right about the top of the 18-yard box when the match started.
To run, work it out. How much into the halfway line? Half-time, or?
What you're telling me is I should have paid more attention in that astronomy class in university. Now Zaragoza, middle of the park. Cutting inside. Flicked along by Gabi. Lopo. Greta. As you alluded to, Robbie, I think the man has got to get more involved in all this for Deportivo is Adrian.
Yeah, I mean, I think between him and Michel, one of them's got to try and link up the play a little bit. They're both playing fairly high, almost like a 4-4-2. Adrian's a player that I've seen so many times, and he looks sharp, he looks quick. He's still only young, only 22, but he just needs a little bit more, maybe it'll come with experience, a little bit more guile. And being in the right place at the right time. A little bit more ruthless maybe in and around the goal. Not that he's had too many sniffs so far in this first half, but 4 goals for a striker with plenty of opportunities last year is not really good enough last year.
Yeah, Gabi. Playing it back, and we're going to run up into the midfield. Marcantini and Antonio Tomas. And with the challenge, but possession still for Zaragoza. Coros Diogo. And then just knocked ahead. Leo Franco sends it back upfield. 300 matches in La Liga for Mallorca and Atletico Madrid. This is number 301 for Zaragoza. Big. Marco Perez.
Claudio Morel. A bit of a battle on that far side. Marco Perez there, just coming across to the right-hand side.
Marco Perez again. Free kick comes in from Jorge Lopez. Well, another chance here. Driven low this time. Second offering. Smothered up by Manu.
I think when you look at it, I think Manu's been the busier goalkeeper here. Robbed on this right-hand side. Just fizzed it across the first time.
Coloto sent it back out. driven back in. Half-hour mark, 0-0. Deportivo and Zaragoza, first game of the season for these clubs. Zaragoza on the move right now at the Riazor. Out wide, Obradovic, his cross, cut off by Lopo. Touchdown by Ureta. And now Morel. Juan Rodriguez finding Antonio Tomas. Trying to slip it through for Manuel Pablo.
Once again, see, it's happened 2 or 3 times. I had to down on the ball. His just touch isn't good enough. He's not passing, making the connections, and that's where it all falls down. If you've got good wide players and midfield players doing okay, if your striker's not looking after the ball, you're going to keep giving it away. It's going to be frustrating for them.
Out for Contini. Driven upfield, Marco Perez after it. Morel spins away. "32 minutes in. Glad you could join us for Spanish football here on ESPN. Driven out of the shadows, and Manuel Pablo going after it. And Lopo as well. Free kick here, Gabi Fernandez. Don't blame the fans for the whistles there, just get on with it.
Yeah, just trying to be a little bit cute, wasn't he? See if there's any offside trap being set by Depor. There wasn't.
Yeah, the throw in. Off of Zaragoza, throwing for Deportivo. Coloto. One back by Zaragoza. Chipped ahead, but no opportunity there for Bertolo to run onto it.
I think actually when you look at both strikers, Marco Perez, Colombian, for Zaragoza has been fairly quiet. A couple of half chances. Adrian, we talked about Michel. Those players aren't really affecting the game too much, hence you're not seeing a lot of, much quality at all really in the attacking part, the last phase of play if you like. You see there Marco Perez put himself around a little bit more, he's on loan. Only 19 he is as well, so very, very young. There's other players on the bench that are probably disappointed they're not playing. Braulio is certainly one that we expect to play. Lafita as well as an experienced forward player for Zaragoza.
Marco Perez on loan from Chico in Colombia. touch there. Free kick, Zaragoza. Antonio Tomas not very happy with the decision.
That's one of those, isn't it, that happens in this sport, I'm afraid. Both players going for the ball. Eyes on the ball only, and sometimes a collision of heads happens all the time.
My question on that replay is, where was the foul? I thought both players culpable.
Yep.
Pablo. Issue with his boot as Gabi sends it inside. Now, can he get to that? No. Good play by Oreta. Sweep over and knock it away. Driven upfield, and just skipping ahead. And that works out well for Zaragoza. Long ball by Guardado. Obradovic. Serbian gets it back. Nice little 1-2 here. Oh, good challenge coming over by Lopo to knock it away from Bertolo. Juan Rodriguez fouled on that play. Espanyol takes the lead on Getafe through Osvaldo. Espanyol had just 29 goals a season ago. Coleto out wide, Morel. Michel, Guardado making the run. Michel can't get it back to him. Ponzio into space. Coleto pressured by Marco Perez.
Hey Joe, what a good atmosphere from the fans here, isn't it? They've been singing all the way through. Always hear that in modern day football. Great to hear, isn't it? Singing songs there, we get a view of very, very good support this opening day.
It's all about organization, Robbie, you know that. You can hear the leader of the chants, and then everyone joins in.
In my experience, when the game was fairly even, I don't want to say boring, but in England there'd be a quietness around the stadium, and then a bad pass was met with a ooh, and just not a very nice environment. Women playing well, obviously it's great, but here this is a great atmosphere for the players.
And into the box, opportunity here, but no, knotted away by Contini. And Coloto come forward on the play. It in. Michel turning over the bar. Lopo calling for a corner kick.
Well, at least he gets a shot in and around the goal. Michel's been very quiet, I think, in this first nearly 40 minutes now of play.
Just the second corner of the match, first for Deportivo. And Senor Tienes calling for a stretcher. Angel Lotina. He paces. There's 5 minutes to go in this first half, and I don't know that we can really say that we've had that true great scoring opportunity, but perhaps here comes out of the box and now a foot race, and well, no, all the way back to Manu. Antonio Tomas. And Manuel Pablo loses his footing. Fans wanting more out of that than it deserves. Now Marco Perez in the middle, but it goes out wide. This is Bertolo. Bertolo into the box. Cross, cut off. Well played by Colotto.
And again, it's Bertolo. Really probably has been the best player for visitors here so far. Oh, we're going to get a substitution already. Varane, the very experienced attacking midfield player, is going to get into the game.
Varane for Michel. So perhaps there was something to that knock he took. Oh, the corner cleared away. Varane, 335th match in La Liga. Cross cut off. Yuri Jaroszek coming all the way forward.
Well, I talked about a little bit of quality needed in the central area. Well, Varane certainly got that. He really has got excellent touch and awareness, great vision. He can pick a pass. He'll be trying to pick out Adriano, Guardado, Loretta on the right-hand side. Maybe that's just what they need.
The other thing that may help as well, you had Adrian and Michel, and kind of having to decide who would play the attacking role and maybe be a bit withdrawn, because it wasn't a true 4-4-2. And maybe now that role will be a bit better defined for Adrian and Varane.
Yeah, it's crystal clear. It really is. Varane will always want to play in between the lines, if you like, in behind Adrian. Adrian now can push up and hopefully be that highest striker, right on the shoulders of Contini and Jaroszek. Trying to make runs in behind them. I think it suits him better now.
11th season at Deportivo for Varane. Also played in the top flight with Mallorca and Atletico Madrid. Guardado grabbing at the back of the left leg. As we cross into the 45th minute. Into the box, loose in the area, and making sure it goes up and over the bar is Leo Franco.
Chasing the referee here. I think they think this is a corner kick.
I think they want a corner, and it seemed that it was Diogo. Leo Franco sends it to midfield. Zaragoza. They make something happen here right before the death of the half. This is Marco Perez. Gets shouldered off by Manuel Pablo. Zaragoza is still in control. Gabi! And Gabi Fernandez. The Zaragoza captain rockets it over the bar. Just 1 minute of additional time.
So focus again on the referee. Still getting whistles from the crowd. Nice little bit of football here from Zaragoza here. Here's the ball. I think it's pretty obvious there, isn't it? It is Diogo gets the last header onto the ball there. Should have been a corner.
The throw for Depor. Only one final opportunity here. Well, cleared to midfield. Perhaps the halftime whistle is in order, and indeed it is. Don't think we would call it, Robbie, the most scintillating football we've seen, but 0-0 as we get to halftime at the Riazor between Deportivo and Zaragoza. Stay with us. We'll bring you some highlights from yesterday in La Liga next. Midway out now for that shadow. Robbie?
It didn't move very quick, did it? I thought we were around about the halfway line at this point.
Now, middle of the park. Slip back for Bartolo, but nothing he can do with it. Obradovic playing it out, and now Manuel Pablo on the right-hand side. Drives it across. Oh. Looking for a flick on, but nothing that Guardado could do. Guardado wins the free kick now. Jorge Lopez a bit confused. Ponzio as well.
I wonder if Latina at the halftime interval just got his players revved up a little bit more. Maybe just a sign of a little bit more enthusiasm, tempo at the start of this second half. You see Guardado there, just brought down. Just kind of on the edge of the distance here, isn't it, as a direct free kick? It's probably 35 yards out.
The director's not too animated. There's a bit of a mess. It almost works out as Lopo trying to get to a header, but he does win a corner.
At the end of all that, it was a good ball into the centre. I think it was a kind of a move that they've worked on. Guardado just pulled away from the ball in the end, and it just got touched to him. He fed it into the middle. And Lopo almost got his head on it.
Oreta headed away. Oreta will watch it go. This will be another corner. It may have been a set piece, Robbie, and a design play, but it will lack marks and grace and execution. And this corner, Marco Perez there to nod it away. Now out of the box. Latching onto it, Guardado. And throw in for Deportivo. Good play on the flank by Jorge Lopez. Chance for Zaragoza to regroup defensively. And Morel comes forward for the throw. Edge of the box, and the foul will go against Deportivo.
There it is, it's just rolled to the side. Looks a little bit messy. Guardado just feels it in there, and Lopo's well challenged, isn't he? With Diogo that's right up alongside him and puts him off the head up. Coaches here just considering further changes. Braulio, certainly an option you have to think at some point in this game for Zaragoza.
5 minutes in. The referee's assistant moving the players back for the free kick. And right into the box and dispatched. And Jorge Lopez trying to work down that right side. Knocked away, and here comes an opportunity perhaps for Deportivo as Ureta works it ahead now in the middle. Oh, no call there. Bit surprised.
I think he's just a little bit of shoulder to shoulder. It's a little bit stronger maybe in the end. I think Andes struggled to get in the game, Joe. I'm a little disappointed. I know he's playing in the hole behind Perez, and you've got to just try and affect the game. He hasn't seen much of the ball, but as a youngster, you've got to learn the positions. You've got to learn where to go to get the ball. You know, what positions to take up to face forward, how to get away from marking players, how to be clever. I know he's got super talent. He's got to learn how to try and find the ball as well.
Hooked away by Lopo. Bradovic out wide. Bit of room here, sends the cross in, and challenge here, but taken well by Manu. Right in front of Marco Perez.
Yeah, I think it's always going to be a little bit too close to the goalkeeper, but it's good feet there from Manu. Quickly manoeuvred himself underneath the path of the ball. Good soft hands as well.
Now for Depor, Adrian out on the flank. Making a run there was Rowan, and Zaragoza now. Passes off the mark, sent back upfield by Deportivo.
Very safe player, I always think. Yuri Jaricic at the back there. Can play in midfield as well, but he's a central defender now for Real Zaragoza. But experienced player in the Czech Republic. And very composed on the ball as well.
Made a name for himself in the Champions League with CSKA Moscow. And that's when Chelsea decided to bring him to England.
Didn't last very long, did it?
7 million, and then his last move was for 1.5. We thought Ricky might be in the starting lineup, but there he is warming up. Diogo, into the middle, and why not try and slip it ahead for Marco Perez? Adrian battling for the ball. Sent back to Leo Franco, driven upfield.
Yeah, I'm guessing the two strikers on both of these teams, Joe, won't make it to the end of the game. I'm predicting Adrian. I'm not sure whether he's going to get through. I see Ricky warming up, and Marco Perez as well has done very little. You've got the likes of Braulio, Lafita waiting on the bench.
Diogo. As Marco Perez with the flag comes up.
Yeah, just a yard offside, isn't it? It's difficult because he's looking one direction. All the defenders the other side of him, his blind side, if you like, have just stepped up. You didn't always realise that.
idea of the match. It's only the 4th offside of the day, which means the attackers really have not been threatening. Now here for Zaragoza, and just wide. Under. Well, the youngster wanted him to get more involved. Robbie, there you have it.
Well, I think he's a player. I said earlier that he's not finding the ball very easily, but he's got talent. He can beat players. He's got good awareness, good vision. Still very young, 21, but yeah, a couple of passes, isn't it, initially? He drives by not too far away. It's a good effort.
Manu will have to send it back upfield. No real threat from Bertolo there. Obradovic into the middle of the park. Dispossessed. Worked out wide. This is Guardado for Deportivo. Not much danger in that service. Well out of the area, has to send it into touch just to give himself a chance to get back to the box.
He almost looked like he was just messed it up, really. The knee was just kneed out to touch. It could have gone anywhere, really.
Now Jorge Lopez will get it back down to the line and shepherd it away. Well played by Antonio Tomas.
Yeah, again, just that attacking play from both teams is not being the usual precision you expect. Here again is another look at Ander driving forward from midfield. He receives this ball on a half angle, allowing him to turn and run forward. That's the key. If he's got his back to goal, he can't get that shot in.
The other end, Deportivo, the cross, nope. Headed away by Bertolo, who had come all the way back to help out. And Diogo thought about sending it to Leo Franco and then thought better of it. Approaching the hour mark, still no score. Time. Manuel Pablo back to his keeper. Well, the only other match going on right now where there's a goal is Osvaldo has a second. As Espanyol leads Getafe 2-0.
There you go, a striker that's going to feel good about himself, Joe. 2 goals already. First weekend of the season. These strikers in this game haven't looked anywhere near it so far.
Well, 2 goals yesterday for Joaquin for Valencia. And for an outside back for Sevilla, Abdullah Konko.
Yeah, good for him.
Now on the move here. Zaragoza, and it's Obradovic coming forward on the left-hand side. Knocked away. Manuel Pablo steers it back upfield. And again, just simple things like receiving a pass.
Yeah, I mean, there's the odd little flurry of activity in this game. Sporadic attack, but you almost want to wind these players up a little bit, Joe. Get them going. They seem to be almost in a rut of just going through the motions in some ways. can hear the fans get excited when there's a little change of speed or tempo about the match. But other than that, it's been fairly average stuff, I have to say.
Well, I go back to what you said midway through the first half, and that is teams playing not to lose.
That's very, very dramatic, isn't it? Valeron, I think it was.
Indeed it was, and just as we mentioned, no other goals. Javi Prieto obliges us for Real Sociedad against Villarreal. Marco Perez making a run, but now has to check it. Down the left-hand side, Gavi. Slipped inside, this is Bertolo. Pressured by Juan Fernandez. Or Juan Rodriguez, beg your pardon. And now Bertolo right up at the top. This is Jorge Lopez turning, blocked. Manu gets to it. Now Diogo. Across the top of the box, now chipped over, would have been offside. Jaroszek, a header, and not all the way back to Leo Franco, so he just has to dispatch to the outside. Oh, clumsy challenge there in the middle of the park.
It's one of those moments again, Joe, where everything seems to have speeded up for the last minute or so. I have to say, Zaragoza just looked like they're the team that want to get this game by the scruff of the neck. Excellent work, wasn't it? Down the outside to get in behind. Get a look at the replay of that, but I think he had different options. Here it is, Bertolo it is, with a fantastic little play there. At this point here, I think it was a striker, Perez, that would have been in a better situation for that cross, but it happened very quickly in all fairness to Bertolo. He had to make a quick decision on where he was going to pass that ball.
Well, perhaps that's what Jorge Lopez was thinking as well. He seemed to have been caught off guard a bit.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was expecting the ball to go more in the centre, right in the 6-yard box where Marco Perez was waiting almost for a tap-in maybe.
Perez, the ball into the box. Squared across, Bertolo again trying to pick out Jorge Lopez. This time a corner kick. Ricky ready to enter, but not quite yet. Great flair. Jorge Lopez places the ball for the corner.
Well, that's a signal. It's a signal just to let them know that the players know where this is going to go, near or far. There's near post. There's a couple of targets in there waiting for it.
Back out to Jorge Lopez. This time the cross comes in, but a whistle as it's served, and deemed offside when he received the ball.
Let's take a look here as this ball is played. Very difficult to see. The player in the wide position. He looks like he's onside to me.
And there is your first striker who does not finish the match, Adrian. As both Adrian and Michel have been substituted by Deportivo. Ricky coming in, and now he will partner with Mararon.
Yeah, I think it was always going to happen, wasn't it? Had to make a change up there, and I think Zaragoza will do the same as well. But then again, they're having a good 5 or 10 minutes, aren't they, the visitors? They're really starting to dominate this game, particularly in territory terms.
Back heeler into the box, cleared away. Diogo can't settle it down, but does get the throw. Juan Rodriguez, and now for Deportivo. Oh, here's an opportunity. Top of the box, left-footed shot, smothered by Leo Franco. As Ricky just into the match, makes his presence felt.
Well, what's that, 30 seconds into the game, Joe? He's had a shot on target. Adrian, I don't think had anything really going for him up to that point, so that's obviously why he's been brought into the game, to try and liven things up a little bit for the home side.
You see total shots in this match. 4 for Deportivo, 5 for Zaragoza. This could be 6, and it's over the bar. And Gabi just outside the box.
You just get a sense, don't you, that Zaragoza just feel that this game is theirs for the taking. Trying to step it up. They've certainly been the best side.
Galan for Getafe from the penalty spot. They pull closer to Espanyol. Still 0-0 in this one. But the action, in all fairness, has picked up a bit in the last 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, it's an increase, isn't there? An increase in tempo. Shame that Deportivo look like they can't really match Zaragoza at the moment. They've got the tails up, haven't they, the visitors, that the movement is a lot more, isn't it? It's amazing what a little bit of confidence does for you, isn't it? A couple of shots, a couple of attempts at goal. Just the belief just ramps up a little bit. Everybody wants the ball much sharper. Even the referee gets in the way.
Now Gabi plays it wide. Jorge Lopez drives it into the defender. Tracks it down. Diogo on the right. Instead, middle of the park. And Gabi now headed along. And Manuel Pablo sends it the other direction for Deportivo. And chances here. Ricky down the middle is Ureta on the flank. Will drive it across. And this is settled down. Guardado has a chance. Will he do something with it? And it goes wide. Took too much time.
Well, good break from Deport. Ureta initially starts his move down the right-hand side. Just a little bit again of him, of quickening of his pace. He crosses the ball all the way across to the other wing up. And Guardado just never really settled with the ball, did he, before that shot?
Fourth corner. Header attempt over the bar.
In all fairness as well, though, 2 or 3 players were very quick to close down the Mexican on that last shot. They did force the corner, though. Here's the ball going all the way across to Guardado. Never really gets it where he wants it, does he? And then he's forced to come inside on his weaker right foot.
Zaragoza. Bartolo. Well played by Manuel Pablo. His experience along the back line. For Deportivo. Jorge Lopez. All the way across, and Manu tracks it well. He's 24 years old, which is still somewhat young as far as keepers go.
Oh, very young, isn't it? You know, there's 16 years at least at the top. You know, they say something. I think they say on average it's about another 4 years that they think the goalkeepers can be effective in the higher leagues. It takes them around the late 30s, doesn't it, really?
Into the box, header across, just missing.
Well, maybe their best chance of scoring at the moment is set pieces here. Just swung into the middle there. And Colotto, a big central defender. This comes in from an angle here and just challenges for the ball, really. Not too far away, though.
Minutes of regulation time. Perez still in. In fact, Jose Aurelio Vey has yet to make a change.
Yeah, I think at this moment in time, Joe, he's probably quite encouraged by what's going on right now. Now, in terms of changes, does he leave the players out there because he thinks they're going to score? Or does he think, well, let's take advantage of this and let me bring another couple of attackers on? Certainly got some options there. He's got good options actually all over.
And here is this first change. Coming off is Jorge Lopez. And a lot of work on this day by Lopez, and Lafita will step in. 26 years old, his second season with Zaragoza, the only player on either of these teams who spent some time with the opposition.
Hence the little bit of stick he got when he came in onto the pitch. Fans always remember, don't they?
Oh, and a free kick just wide. Good effort again by Gabi. He's really been the one who has forced the most out of Manu on the day. So now the corner. The cross header. And continues on. And Diogo felt he should have done more with that.
I wonder if Lafita now can just get make any kind of difference now. See, Hayes gone with the option of, well, we're on a good period, let's get a few different attackers on there, see if they can do the trick and get this all-important breakthrough goal.
Throw in for Zaragoza. Diogo sends it in, flicked along, trying to pick out Marco Perez. Deportivo under pressure right now. Gabi. Knocked away by Barron. Gets it back. Now out wide. This is Bertolo. Top of the box, trying to work away from Manuel Pablo. Slips it through. Opportunity here. Marco Perez sends it the wrong way. He just had to turn his boot. Bertolo again trying to fight to the byline. Manuel Pablo there, and Bertolo just too physical. He knew it.
They've just seen the best bit of football in the game by a mile. What a beautiful back heel by this man. I'm pretty sure it was him who just plays it in. Fantastic back heel there with the overlapping run here. Here it comes. Look at that. And how he misses this, Joe. I mean, it's great defending. I think it comes off his heel of his boot and goes back the other way.
Riazor in La Coruña. Deportivo and Zaragoza are scoreless with just over a quarter hour to play. And the Zaragoza fans are wondering how it's not. Oh, is that a handball? No, Jarosik had that arm right in front of him. The only way he prevents that as if he cuts it off. The Zaragoza fans have to be wondering how Marco Perez did not convert that.
Well, everything was right, wasn't it? You can just see it happening. Just cross it to him. He read it. He was in the right place at exactly the right time.
And settled down here by Laron. Tries to push it across. Cleared by Zaragoza. And this is Marco Perez. Will he get a chance at redemption? Back for Bartolo. This is indeed picked up now. Ander can't get it through. Balaron. Guardado puts it in the middle. Antonio Tomas sends it across. Juan Rodriguez out wide. Manuel Pablo makes the overlapping run. Can't pick him out. Bradovic tries to send it upfield, but again, opportunity here for Deportivo, but Abramovich sticks with it and wins it for Zaragoza. And just a touch to put it out. Throw in for Zaragoza. And the final change coming up here. And it will be Guardado coming off. And in his place is Saul.
Transfer from Levante, Saul. Big straight swap, I think. Normally plays on the right hand side of midfield. I don't know whether Ureta might come across or whether they'll just.
It's 0-0 scoreline for Deportivo and Zaragoza. Saul, as you mentioned, Robbie, coming from Levante on free transfer, but he had been on loan to Elche in the second division. 3 goals last season, 8 the year before. He has yet to open his account in La Liga, though, and this is 23rd match. He had 2 with Malaga back in 05-06, and then the other 20 with Levante.
Yeah, I think it's maybe what you see now in Spain and in some other countries, that whether the money isn't there, you've got to be more creative. You've got to try and pick up these players that have done well, maybe in the division below, and see if they can make a difference to your team in the top flight in the Primera.
Now Manuel Pablo by looping cross all the way through the 18. Played it ahead, but now another chance here. No. Yarashik sliding over, and now Zaragoza. Ponzio. Gavi out wide. This is Bertolo. Marco Perez. Back for Gavi. 1-2, Bartolo and Marco Perez, and cleared upfield by Deportivo. Marco Perez just does not seem to have what Zaragoza needs right now.
I mean, he's working hard enough. He's got a little bit of pace about him, but in this situation now, when the game is there, they need a goal scorer. Maybe he's going to come good, Joe. Maybe he's going to get that goal where he should have scored earlier on. It looks like for the time being anyway.
Guerrero did well to keep that alive, and now Lafita plays it across. Manu scoops it, distributes. Not been involved in the second half. Now out wide. This is Bertolo. Ander making himself available, but cut off. Well done, and now Juan Rodriguez. Rodriguez barely got that ball through, but he does. Problem was it was 1v3. Now Gabi. Perez can't get to that. Claudio Morel sends it into the middle. 10 minutes to go. Greater sense of urgency over the last 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, I just want to see how Deportivo are going to react. A little bit brighter, but it just seems to me that Zaragoza have clearly been the better team in this second half. And that wouldn't always mean who's going to win the game, of course, but another change here.
Indeed, it is Marco Perez coming off. You have mentioned Braulio a few times already. And the man from the Canary Islands will get an opportunity. He was on loan last season with Recreativo, where he had 2 goals in 20 matches.
I think if you're a centre forward and things are going well and you're sat on the bench there and you've seen the player that's playing in your position miss a sitter, an open goal, you're itching to get on there, and he's got a chance. He hasn't got that many minutes. It's less than 10 minutes, Braulio, but maybe he's going to be the hero.
Braulio. His 35th appearance in the top flight. He's also with Mallorca and Getafe. Feels his team should have more to show for their effort right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. And shot earlier on certainly created more chances of goal, more shots, I think. Dominated possession territory as well.
Zaragoza on the move with Diogo leading the break. Sends it out wide. Chance here for Lafita. Still on it. And the cross headed away. Juan Rodriguez finding Balaron. That's a pull. And Robbie, 83rd minute. It's the first card we've seen.
I know, it's great. I think it's the referee's done a fine job, Joe. We haven't talked about the referee at all. He's let the game go. I mean, there hasn't been any nasty challenges, a couple of little flare-ups, but nothing really major.
Dennis has done what you would like to see every referee do. Stay out of sight, really.
Yeah,
as best you can.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to, Joe. I mean, sometimes you have to, you know, put your foot down and try and stop if there's a few bad challenges. You've got to get the yellow cards out early to stop it. And if the players should take it on board and just calm down a little bit, but this game hasn't needed anything like that. And sensibly, the referee has just let it flow.
Franco was with Galatasaray last season. Comes back to Spain on free transfer. And now it is to get a chance for Zaragoza, but Manuel Pablo, deft little touch to knock it away and break up the challenge. Laid across, and that effort is blocked. Ponzio having a go from distance.
midfield man Ponzio playing alongside Gabby. It's those two holding midfield players in the centre with Ander just playing in front of those two.
Bertolo's been more involved down that left flank than Ponzio has on the right. Back to Diogo. Ball intended for space, but too far inside to even make a run at it. Tina looking on, he has exhausted his substitutes. One more remains for Jose Aurelio Gay. Ander gets it back. Pushes wide Obradovic. Bertolo, Manuel Pablo, a little swipe at it, knocks it into touch.
A few worries for the coach, Latino.
Effort here blocked. Deportivo. Will be able to create something here. No, it's once again Zaragoza trying to make something happen. Depor wins it back, and Moreta slipped over to this left side to allow Soul on the right. Will be off the mark on that feed. Manuel Pablo having to keep that boot down, could have been dangerous. And now here's, foul in the middle of the park. You can see some of the frustration from Braulio.
Let's see how much contact there really was. A great deal, was there? Looks up at the referees, he's down on the ground, Braulio, wanting to get the free kick and just taking his time getting up, but I'm absolutely 100% sure he's going to be fine.
There's 16s on that clash, Antonio Tomas and Braulio. A chance here and nodded back across. But he really wanted to have it come down. I thought maybe someone would try and take that on the full volley. 2 minutes of regulation time, and I think not a large addition of time here is now into the box. Right-footed opportunity. And Ureta is denied. But a man is down, and Ureta will play it out. The fans not very happy about it.
I think it's just one of these, Joe, where it's a block tackle, 50-50. It's one of those, if you go on with this side foot and challenge it, it can open up the knee joint a little bit. It certainly happened to me with the medial ligaments on the inside getting stretched. That'll be the concern here. Beretta did nothing wrong. It was positive play from him, just driving on the inside. But if you just look at this when he comes to block the defending player, he opens his knee joint out, and this right knee, you just worry that sometimes can tweak those ligaments on that side.
So Ponzio is down. Folks, you should never be surprised when a footballer who's had his knee done suddenly can speak his physician.
I think I've had them all. I've had all injuries. Knees, ankles, backs, shoulders, cheekbones, everything. I just know that tackle there, that challenge, when you open it's like a side foot to side foot, it normally happens. Doesn't that put some strain on the knee? How long it'll be out as well. It's a 6-week injury if he's done that. It looks like he's okay.
The players around Europe dropping already early in the season. Arjen Robben now. Said to be out till December. Robin Van Persie's injured again. And now here comes Ponzio.
If we can run it off. Yeah, and some of these players, the first two you mentioned there, all part of the World Cup, isn't it? Did those injuries were aggravated at the World Cup? Were they properly healed when they came back to start playing? Probably not.
Into the 90th minute, 3 minutes of stoppage time, and perhaps a minute of that because of Ponzio going down right there.
Let's come across here, switch sides. Loretta, Sal coming on, is on the right-hand side.
Diego finding Ponzio. Seems okay.
Yeah, he's absolutely fine. Maybe stronger knees than I obviously had.
Well, Gabi. Playing wide, Obradovic settles it down. Bartolo has it taken away. Juan Rodriguez does the job. Has it knocked away by Gabi. Throw in for Deportivo. And the final change coming here. Zaragoza and Nielsen ready to come into the match, but will he get an opportunity here? Just 2 minutes left. The amount of stoppage time requested by Teixeira Bitienes. Definitely put in his running on the day. And so Nielsen will have to wait a moment as Bartolo comes over. And Nicolas Bartolo indeed was very active on that left-hand side.
Yeah, I thought he was their best player, I have to say, all the way through the game as well. First half on the near side, he was battling away, and a little bit of quality, the nice back heel. Bartolo, for me, was the star for Zaragoza.
Slipped in by Morel. Nielsen, his second season with Zaragoza after coming back from Brazil, where he spent a year with Palmeiras. It's a bit of a loan from the Real. So I beg your pardon, he went on free. And now is with Zaragoza on loan. So let's close that note. Manuel Pablo trying to see what he could do to win the ball as coming to the close of the allotted time. Let's see if Bitienes added a little bit for the substitution of Nielsen. Right now, Zaragoza, perhaps their last opportunity of the day. And they will chip it along. And there is the full-time whistle. So it will be a 6th draw in 9 meetings between Deportivo and Zaragoza. And each club will open up this season with a share of the spoils. But in all fairness, Robbie, perhaps it should have been Zaragoza that had nicked the goal, especially that chance through Marco Perez.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think they were the better side. I think it's a little bit concerning for Latina that at home, first game of the season, you want to start well, you want to play well and dominate. They didn't do it, and this is a side, Zaragoza, that think going into this season they might struggle to stay up. So, not a great start from Deportivo. Giving the fans a round of applause because the atmosphere was excellent all the way through, but they would have liked to have played a lot better today, Joe.
The supporters, in the end, made their presence known, and you can see